Hello and welcome everyone to Heisey Park here in Galion, Ohio on the last Sunday of the season. Kevin Peel here with you as the Lake Erie Monarchs take on the Galion Graders. Great action here should be expected. The Monarchs are looking for a season sweep of the Galion Graders here today, having won the previous three matchups. Jose De La Cruz delivers the first pitch. It's high and tight to Caleb Baugard, and we are underway right on time at 4:05 p.m. here today on a cloudy day in Galion, and a little nibbler foul at home plate makes it 1-1 strike. Caleb Baugard hitting .339 with 5 homers and 20 RBIs on the season for the Monarchs. Righty Jose De La Cruz kicks and fires, and a ground ball hit over towards third. Waiting on it, making the throw over in time for the out is Sikowski. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the first inning for the Monarchs. Let's take a look at that defensive alignment. And actually, that was Reimold who just made that play a moment ago. The battery is the De La Cruzes today. Michael De La Cruz behind the plate, Juan De La Cruz pitching. Jordan at short, Reimold at third, Harper at second, Dietering at first. Will Prater, the next batter for the Monarchs. Strike one called. Will Prater from Western Carolina University getting the start as the second baseman here today for the Monarchs once again. .306 average with a homer and 5 knocked in. 0-1, misses just a bit outside. 1 strike. The outfield left to right for the Graders. Wentz in left, Sikowski in center, Hathaway is in right. And the 1-1 bounces in. 2-1 to Will Prater. Monarchs finishing the home campaign with a 7-10 record here this year at Flat Rock Field, with 4 dates being moved or being missed. 2-1 called strike to Will Prater. Evens up the count, 2-2. A 5-4 win over the Galion Graders, a crazy back-and-forth affair at Flat Rock Field last night. 2-2 on the way, and Prater pops one up into shallow left field down the line. It's hooking, and it will stay fair, just dropping in front of the chalk. And Will Prater's on his way to second base with a 1-out double. A blooper that found its way down. And the Monarchs are off and rolling here in the top of the first with just 1 out against Jose De La Cruz. And that'll bring up Alex Lambo. Alex Lambo making another start as the Monarchs shortstop here today. Lambo slugging .293 with 2 homers and 22 RBIs. That batting average slated to go up after a bit of a statistical miscue from last night's game. Pitch over the inside corner for strike 1. Lambo was given a fielder's choice in the 5th inning of last night's game, but it was instead an infield single, so that average is actually higher than .293. De La Cruz from the first base side of the rubber takes a look towards second. The 0-1. Lambo lines one towards left. It's getting down for a base hit. Leaping to stop it from going to the fence was the left fielder Wentz, but coming in to score on the play is Will Prater on an RBI single from Alex Lambo. He picks up his 23rd RBI of the season, and the Monarchs are off and running here right away in the top of the first with a 1-0 lead. Great piece of hitting for Lambo. A bouncy outfield almost allowed that one to get over the top of Wentz, who was moving towards the line. Was just able to cut it off. Now the number 4 man in the order, Jake Goodrow, a big hack, just a little tapper to the right of home, foul. No balls and a strike. Jake Goodrow starting as the catcher here today for the Monarchs. .265 average, 4 homers and 14 RBIs. De La Cruz and Schnitz-Paxton, the starting pitching matchup here today. 0-1, and it's a little outside. 1 ball and a strike to Jake Goodrow. cleanup man in the order. 1-0 Monarchs, top of the first. A man is at first. De La Cruz still working from the set position. He turns and throws over to first. Ball that almost sailed away. Able to stop it was Dietering to make sure that an error was not committed. 1-1 on Jake Goodrow. The pitch, low and away, 2 balls and a strike. You may not hear a ton of noise in the crowd mic as you normally would here at a baseball game. It's because we're actually in the opposing press box, if you will. Football stadium here where the Galion High School Tigers play is right next to Heisey Field. And another throw over to first, and Lambo is back in safely. And so we actually have our backs to the football field and the football press box looking out towards the baseball stadium. Still a great view to take in a ball game. 2-1. Bounces in. Count is 3-1 on Jake Goodrow. Beautiful city park here that is bustling with activity early on here today on this Sunday. Some kids and parents out at the pool. 3-1 is low and in for ball 4. And Jake Goodrow has drawn a free pass. Runners at first and second here in the top of the first inning. 1 out, a run in for the Monarchs to take a 1-0 lead. And that will allow Andrew Dyke to swing it. Dyke, the designated hitter for the Monarchs out of the University of Illinois. He is a member of the Fighting Illini baseball program. Pitch to him. High towering pop-up. Back behind home plate. De La Cruz coming over, and it's going to go into the first row of seats behind home plate. No balls and a strike. Dyke hitting .262 with 3 homers and 13 RBIs this year for the Monarchs, making his 36th and final appearance of this 2018 season. Which, as quickly as it has come, it has passed now. Monarchs will not make the postseason, like a feat they were able to accomplish last year, getting to the play-in game against the St. Clair Green Giants before falling. 0-1 pitch is a called strike to Andrew Dyke, 0-2. Now a quick mound visit between the De La Cruzes, and they'll have a quick word to get on the same page here, hoping for a double play ball to get out of this threat. Galion doesn't have your normal everyday white uniforms. They have a cream-colored home attire jersey. And several players have a mixture of yellow and blue stirrups with a couple stripes on them. Check swing. Dyke went too far on a ball in the dirt. He's punched out of there on 3 pitches. And there are 2 outs in the top of the first. 1-0 Monarchs. Runners at first and second. Now Casey O'Laughlin will try and drive in another run. O'Laughlin will bat from the left side against the righty De La Cruz. .241 average, 2 homers, and 11 RBIs. The pitch. High and away, ball 1 to O'Laughlin. Bottom 3 in the order that has not been up yet. Keegan Watson, Casey Slattery, and Zach Schwarzenberger. Also make plate appearances here today as starters. 1 out. Low and in, 2-0. So the cream home jerseys that the Graders have, they have Graders across the chest in gold. Gold numbers on the back as well with navy blue trim. Blue caps with the G on the front. 2-0 swinging for the fences was O'Laughlin, and he came up empty, 2-1. Again, this was a series that was split because of the need to make sure that each team had 21 home games and 21 road games for the season. 2-1, a pop-up to right field. Going out on it, the second baseman, who will put it away for out number 3. Nice play made by Harper. That'll do it. The Monarchs do get a run, though, on an RBI single from Alex Lambo. And at the end of a half inning, it's 1-0 Monarchs, with the Graders coming to bat. Next, you are listening to Monarchs Baseball. Galleon Graders and the Lake Erie Monarchs going at it here on a Sunday afternoon. Beautiful day for baseball. Looks like the rain is going to hold off. And the Monarchs have a early 1-0 advantage to boot on an RBI single from Alex Lambo. Pitch in the dirt, ball 1, Eric Wentz. Starting left fielder leads off today, making just his 10th appearance for the Graders this year. 395 average with a homer and 8 RBIs. Late edition. 1-0 is outside. 2 balls and no strikes. So we did not see Wentz in that first series earlier on this year. He's from Kent State, a sophomore from Hudson, Ohio. Fly one well out of play. Near the right field corner, 2 balls and a strike on Eric Wentz. 5'10", 180 pounds. Pitch from Lane Schnitz-Paxton. 2-1 breaker over the outer half for strike 2. Wentz sporting the number 23 for the Graders. Schnitz-Paxton delivers. Pop up. This will maneuver itself out of play near the batting cages down the first base side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another start for Lane Schnitz-Paxton, who is one of 4 Lake Erie Monarchs All-Stars from this season. Pitch is low. Ball 3 to Wentz. And the 7th pitch of the at-bat will be coming. Out of the windup, here comes Schnitz-Paxton. Swing and a miss. Wentz fans for strike 3. First strikeout right away for Lane Schnitz-Paxton here today. 1 out in the first. 1-0 Monarchs. Base is empty. So now Jacob Reimold will step up to the plate. Reimold donning the number 12. 372 average, team high. 9 homers, 29 RBIs. And a curveball is taken for strike 1. 34th appearance of the season for Reimold. 45 for 121 at the plate this year. Fastball, a called strike 2 on the outside corner. 9 walks, 16 strikeouts. And Reimold cracks one to left field, backing up on it. Still going back is Schwarzenberger at the fence. Will reach up, and both the center fielder and left fielder nearly collide. That being O'Loughlin and Schwarzenberger. On his way to third is Reimold, and he'll get there safely with a triple, which is his first of the season and just the 4th three-base hit of the year for Galleon. So the Galleon Graders are off and clicking here in the bottom of the first, looking to respond and grab a run after the Monarchs had taken the early lead. Here comes Juan De La Cruz. De La Cruz with a .324 average, 5 homers, 29 RBIs. Pitch high and away for ball 1. De La Cruz is from Oklahoma Wesleyan University, upcoming senior from the Big Apple, New York, New York. 1-0 on the ground, over to second, and it'll get past Prater and into right field. Tied up at 1 on the RBI knock from Juan De La Cruz. Didn't take long for Galleon to respond. Just a couple pitch exchange, and we're all tied up. Now Todd Sikowski will try and keep things going. Sikowski getting the start in center field here today. Still a man at first in a 1-1 game. And it's well outside from Lane Schnitz-Paxton for ball 1. Monarchs in the visiting grays, as per usual, with the navy blue pinstripes. Monarchs in green script across the chest with navy blue trim. 1-0 at the knees. Even it up 1-1. Navy blue lettering on the back, green trim. Green stirrups with a navy blue stripe and 2 white stripes. 1-1 low and outside, 2 balls and a strike. Tri-color cap with white on the front, navy blue on the sides, green on the back, with the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League logo on the back. Monarchs head logo on the front. Sikowski with a chopper hit towards second. Flip to second for 1. Prater's relay to first, a double play. Fans not too happy, but a chop 6-4-3 double play is going to do it for the Galleon Graders here in the bottom of the first. They do get on the board, though. Juan De La Cruz, he gets an RBI knock to tie it at 1, after 1. You are listening to Lake Erie Monarchs Baseball on monarchsradio.com. Keegan Watson to bat to lead off for the Lake Erie Monarchs here in the top of the second inning. And we have a tie ball game at 1. Watson on the right side against Jose De La Cruz. First pitch of the at-bat, swing and a miss for strike 1. Alex Lambo with an RBI single in the top of the first. RBI single for Juan De La Cruz in the bottom of the first to tie it up. Watson, a fly ball hit to right. Should be routine. Coming in and making the play is the right fielder for out number 1. That being Hathaway.
For the Monarchs, now batting.
2 pitches, 1 out here in the top of the second for the Monarchs in a 1-1 game. Here's Casey Slattery. Starting at first is Slattery today from the University of California. He is a Golden Bear. Strike 1 called, 0-1. Slattery hitting 127 with 6 RBIs this year. 0-1. And a wave and a miss. Well behind the fastball, 0-2. 34th game that Casey Slattery has competed in this year. And the 0-2 is low and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Slattery had an RBI hit yesterday to help propel the Monarchs past the Graders in game 1 of this set. 0-2. High and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Casey Slattery with Zach Schwarzenberger waiting in the on-deck circle. Casey did not play in his first year for California, red-shirted. 1-2, a liner right to short. Tough hop for him, throws on to first and got him. Almost letting that get past him was Christopher Jordan. But he's able to make the play. Out number 2.
He's a sophomore at the University of Toledo from Saline, Michigan.
Here's Zach Schwarzenberger. Schwarzenberger, and on the left side against the right-handed pitcher, Jose De La Cruz. 236 average with 9 knocked in for Schwarzenberger this year. Pitch outside, ball 1. The University of Toledo Rocket, one of 4 on the Monarchs roster in 2018. 1-0 is high and away, 2 balls and no strikes. Zach Schwarzenberger also has a team-leading 11 steals, has been caught just once this year. 2-0 is outside, 3-0. Monarchs at 17, 22, and 1. That tie coming against the Saginaw Sugar Beets last Sunday in a circus of a doubleheader up north. Pitches outside, ball 4. And Zach Schwarzenberger will draw the second walk of the game issued by Jose De La Cruz. Now Caleb Balgard will make his second appearance to the plate. 0 for 1 with a groundout today is Balgard. Monarchs went 1-0-1 in that doubleheader last Sunday in Saginaw. First game starting just after 1:30 and ending not till after 9. Strike 1 call to Balgard over the inside corner. 0-1. And the Monarchs this week split with the Grand Lake Mariners on Tuesday and Wednesday at home, winning Tuesday. Drawing a throw over there at first is Schwarzenberger. He's back in safely. Monarchs then rained out on Thursday with the Muskegon Clippers before dropping a doubleheader on Friday night. 0-1 on the way. Pitches high. Throw down to second. The tag, and Schwarzenberger's dead meat at second. Trying to swipe the base. A good throw from De La Cruz to gun him out. And the Monarchs, they get a 2-out base runner but cannot capitalize. Middle of the second inning here at Heisey Park in Galion, Ohio. Tied at 1. This is Monarchs baseball. Matthew Dietering leads things off in the bottom of the second inning. Dietering with a check swing, ball one low, 1-0. Tied at 1 as the bottom of the second inning begins. Lane Schnitz-Paxton back out there and dealing for the Monarchs. Oh, one that hit off of Paxton, and it goes towards second base. Prater's throw is high and late, and that's not what you want to see if you are a Monarchs or Rockets fan. Lane Schnitz-Paxton taking one in the lower back, a line drive comebacker to the mound that drilled him. And he's trying to walk it off right now, but Coach Tim Brown's going to have to come out and have a quick word. Knowing Lane, he's going to try and tough this one out. But that's the thing about this game. And in talking with Neil Schaffner, the Galleon Graders manager, before the game, he said first and foremost that the initial key to today was making sure no one got hurt. And that same will go for the Monarchs here today with Tim Brown and Bradley Merritt on that infield single from Matthew Dietering. That will start things off in the bottom of the second. We'll see if Lane is okay. Looks like he will be, but the trainer is going to have just an extra word with him to make sure he is okay. Scary moment for a second, starting off this bottom of the second inning. And now Vince Donato will step in, still against the right-handed pitcher, Lane Schnitz-Paxton. Donato, a righty himself, the designated hitter. Called strike over the outside corner, 0-1. Donato hitting .291 with 15 RBIs this year for the Graders, who were very recently in contention for that final playoff spot in the South Division, but things have turned south on them of late. 0-1 misses inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. The Hamilton Joes got white hot and overtook Galleon. Part of that stretch was a sweep against the Graders here this week. 1-1 is fouled back to the screen, 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. And so Galleon's fallen on a bit of hard times as the season is coming to a close for Neil Schaffner in his first year at the helm of this Galleon team. They've lost 5 in a row coming in. 1-2, rung up, strike 3. Vince Donato is out of there, and Lane Schnitz-Paxton picks up his second K of the contest. Now Austin Hathaway will come to the plate. Hathaway, the right fielder for Galleon. Hathaway hitting .198, pitch at the knees for strike 1. 3 homers, 16 RBIs this year for Hathaway. Coming set is Schnitz-Paxton with a runner at first. 0-1 misses low, even it up 1-1. Matthew Dietering, the man at first after his leadoff single. 1-1 tie in the bottom of the second here at Heisey Park in Galleon. A lot of clouds will be the story here today, but no rain at least projected yet. Swinging for the fences is Hathaway, 1-2. At game time, temperature was 77 degrees, winds west at 6 miles an hour, blowing towards the right field corner. Partly cloudy conditions, although it looks like mostly cloudy has settled in now. 1-2 high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And many of the Galleon faithful sitting underneath tree cover down the third base side, where there are some bleachers to take in the game. 2-2 bounces in. Dietering going to take off for second and get there safely on what most likely will be a stolen base for Dietering. We'll clarify that for sure. Galleon has a man in scoring position now with just 1 out in the inning. Wild pitch is going to allow the runner Dietering to advance. And it was a ball that bounced in. Tough to handle for Jake Goodrow. 3-2 count on Hathaway. And here it comes. Fly ball hit towards left. Schwarzenberger backing up, moving towards the line at the same time, reaches up to make a one-handed grab. Second out of the inning, as the lazy fly ball was hit by Hathaway. Runners still at second, 1-1 game in the second.
Junior at West Virginia State University.
And now Christopher Jordan
Number 13,
will have an opportunity.
Jordan.
It was rumored that Christopher Jordan would be playing all 9 positions today for the Galion Graders. He has only played the shortstop position to this point, though, as we are here in the second. And Lane Schnitz-Paxton will step off the back of the mound. Jordan with a .260 batting average and 6 runs batted in. 38th game he has appeared in for the Graders, which is second on the team behind Donato. Fastball high and away, and ball 1 to Jordan. Harper waiting on deck, the number 9 hitter for the Graders. Schnitz-Paxton with a couple glances towards second. Delivers the 1-0, low and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Jordan has also walked 14 times this year and struck out 26, which is third on the team. Pitches low and away, 3 balls and no strikes. Right-handed batter against the righty Lane Schnitz-Paxton, who's fallen way behind in this battle. 3-0 under the arms, ball 4. 4-pitch walk from Schnitz-Paxton. His first free pass allowed in this game. And now the Galion Graders will have another man on base. First and second, bottom of the second, tied at 1. Austin Harper will stride to the plate. Harper, the starting second sacker for the Graders, swings and fouls one at home plate for strike 1. Wind blowing right into our press box here at Galion today. Schnitz-Paxton with another look towards second base. 0-1 bounces in and away from Gaudreau, allowing both runners to move up a base. And that very well could be another wild pitch against Schnitz-Paxton, which would be his second of the inning. And Austin Harper has a good opportunity to try and drive in a run here. Pitches low. Make it 2-1. It was a wild pitch, in fact, on Schnitz-Paxton a moment ago. Ahead in the count is Harper, the 2-1. Inside corner, strike 2. Even it up. Schnitz-Paxton has definitely been one of the bright spots in what has been an up-and-down season for the Monarchs in 2018. 2-2, ring him up, strike 3. Down goes Austin Harper. Second strikeout of the inning, third of the game. And the Monarchs are able to sidestep a big issue with runners at second and third in the second. We move to the third, tied at 1. This is Monarchs baseball. Heisey Park, the setting of the series and season finale for the Lake Erie Monarchs here today. 1-1 game heading to the third. Top of the order, Caleb Balgard back to the plate. And he'll chop one foul past Brad Merritt, third base coach for the Monarchs. 0-1. Balgard was up in the bottom of the second when Zach Schwarzenberger was caught stealing to end the stanza. Here's the 0-1. And another wave. This time a miss. Strike two. Balgard officially 0 for 1 with that ground out back in the first. Monarchs being out hit 3-2. We're tied at 1. No errors on the scoreboard. 0-2 just got a piece. And fought it off to the screen behind home. 0-2. Gallion has left 3 on the base paths. Monarchs have left 2 to this point. Jose and Juan de la Cruz will have a quick discussion on the mound to keep in touch with each other. Lights do frame the infield and outfield of Heisey Park here in Gallion. A nice setting for baseball. Graders in the past couple years raised their right field fence. Another 0-2, and Balgard chased a high heater, strike three. Jose de la Cruz will collect his second strikeout. 1 up, 1 down, top of the third. Monarchs and Graders tied at 1. The dimensions of this ballpark, 330 to the left field corner with the shorter fence, 360 to the scoreboard, which is almost in left center field. Pitch high and away to Will Prater for ball 1. He doubled, blooping one down the left field line in the first inning and then would score later. 1-0. And it sails outside 2-0. So you're nearing 400 as you go to the center field fence. It is 300 in the right field corner with that elevated fence. Prater fouls one away. 2 balls and a strike. It's almost a second fence on top of the initial fence that Gallion has added to make it harder for players to hit home runs. 2-1's low and in, 3-1. And talking with GM Jim DeSena before the game, he said that Gallion had a big issue with that, not for hitters, but for pitchers, I would say, with a ton of home runs sailing out to right field at this park. Pitch high and away, ball 4 to Will Prater. And the Monarchs are in business with a 1-out base runner in the third. 1-1 game as Alex Lambo comes up 1 for 1 with an RBI knock here today. And so that elevated fence, which extends from right center all the way to the foul pole, has made it more difficult for players to go yard here. Has cut down those home run numbers. Pitch high, ball 1 to Lambo. And if that prevailing wind is coming out of the west, it would blow balls towards that corner all the time, elevating them over the fence. 1-0. Lambo will put one in the air. This one to left field. Backing up on it. Still short of the warning track, though, is Wentz. He'll put it away. Out number 2. And Will Prater will retreat to first base. Monarchs looking to break the 1-1 tie here in the top of the third. And they'll lean on Jake Goudreau to try and at least keep the inning going. Goudreau walked in the first inning. Heisey Park does have a small press box right behind home plate that is occupied by the PA announcer. Now they have Will Prater caught in a rundown. He was picked off. Prater going back towards first, the tag, and they got him. The home plate umpire, Rudy Dinas, coming over to make the call. So Prater picked off, and that will end the top of the third inning. The Monarchs with some base running mistakes here early on today. Middle of the third inning, 1-1 game. Gallion and Lake Erie tied. This is your home for Monarchs baseball.
fielder, number 23.
Eric Wentz leads off the events in the bottom of the third. Lane Schnitz-Paxton, who wore one on his back last inning, appears to be just fine. A line drive that came back to the mound. Throws his first pitch of the inning, and it's inside, ball 1 to Wentz. Wentz struck out swinging back in the first. 1-1 tie. Each team got a run in the first. 1-0 skips in to the catcher Gaudreau. 2 balls and no strikes. Monarchs have had now 2 caught stealings, ending the second. Zach Schwarzenberger was caught, and then Will Prater was caught to end the top of the third. Big swing from Wentz. He was sitting dead red on that Schnitz-Paxton 2-seamer and just came up empty, swinging at the elevated pitch, 2-1. Doesn't take much time, does Lane, 2-1, chopped at the plate, foul. Evening up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two from Schnitz-Paxton is low and away. Full count. And Wentz will draw a walk with a high fastball. So for Schnitz-Paxton, that is his second walk of the game. We have a 1-1 tie in the bottom of the third. And the batter is Jacob Reimold, who has tripled and scored a run here today. Came back in the first. Leadoff man on, a dangerous proposition for Schnitz-Paxton. Swing and a miss as he blew the fastball by him. Strike 1. Schnitz-Paxton has a 2-seamer, a slider, a curveball, and a very effective changeup. 0-1, and there's that curveball over the inside half for strike 2. Jacob Reimold hitting on the right side. 5 base runners against Schnitz-Paxton through 2+ innings. 0-2, low and away. Even it up, 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. That wind starting to shift and blowing somewhat in towards the first base dugout of the Monarchs. 1-2, runner takes off, and it's grounded into left field for a base hit. Wentz is tracking towards third base, and he'll get there safely, moving from first to third. Jacob Reimold able to execute a perfect hit and run. Runners at the corners with nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning. In a 1-1 game. Now Juan de la Cruz will step in for the second time. RBI single back in the first for de la Cruz. Lane Schnitz-Paxton from Napoleon, Ohio. He is 6'3", 215 pounds, a junior, upcoming at the University of Toledo. He threw 1 scoreless inning in the All-Star game for the Monarchs that came back on July 17th at Prasco Park in Mason, Ohio. Pitch to De La Cruz at the knees, outside corner. Strike 1. Monarchs infield is playing back right now. They would be content to give up the lead and try and go for a double play. 0-1 is low and away, skipping in. Nice block by Gaudreau. 1 ball and 1 strike. Numbers on Lane Schnitz-Paxton, 4-2 record, a 3.70 ERA. 8th start of the season. He also has thrown a shutout this year. 1-1. Fly ball, tattooed towards right. Keegan Watson just a little short of the track. Reaches up, makes the catch. Here comes Wentz. He's going to score with ease. And the Galleon Graders are going to go back in front on a sacrifice fly from Juan de la Cruz to take a 2-1 lead. De La Cruz picks up RBI number 30 of the season. And now Todd Sikowski will attempt to add on to that lead. The throw from Watson came in towards second base, so Reimold was not able to move up. Smart decision to split the runners by Watson. Pitch over the outside corner for a strike, throw down to second, and it kicks off of Will Prater's leg and back behind third base. And Alex Lambo's dashing out into short left field to get the baseball. Stolen base for Jacob Reimold. And it's 0-1 on Todd Sikowski. And Schnitz Paxton wanting a new baseball from Jake Goodrow. Not quite sure what happened if Prater and Reimold were just bearing down on the bag at the same time. And Will Prater hopped in front of the bag, couldn't catch the baseball, and that's when it went off of his leg into shallow left field. Although for the Monarchs' sake, fortunately, the runner did not get an extra 90 feet. Reimold's just at second. But there's one out here in the bottom of the third, a run in, and Galleon has a 2-1 lead. Schnitz Paxton delivers. Pop up, moving its way foul, well out of play. Behind home, no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2, Sikowski with a deep fly ball to left field. Schwarzenberger backing up on it, reaches up, and will put away that baseball for out number 2. That ball, whenever it's heading towards left field, being knocked down by the breeze. Right off the bat, when contact was made, it looked like that would flirt with being a home run, but instead it's just a routine fly out for Sikowski. Man still at second, it's Jacob Reimold. 2-1 game, bottom of the third. Matthew Dietering will step in, and he got hit in the cleat by the pitch. Could not get out of the way. Spread his legs to try and maneuver away from the pitch, and then it hit him on the inside of his left foot, right on his cleat. So Lane Schnitz Paxton hits his first man. Still at second is Reimold. Going through Lane Schnitz Paxton's numbers a little more as Vince Donato comes to the plate, 0-for-1 with a strikeout. 41 in the third prior innings for Schnitz Paxton. A nice strikeout to walk ratio of over 2-1. Fastball high and in, ball 1. 37 Ks to 17 walks has permitted 44 hits. And he has pitched every Sunday in July. Ground ball hit towards second base. Lambo will flip to second to Prater to force Dietering, who is moving towards that bag, and that will do it in the bottom of the third for the Galleon Graders. But they get a run on a sac fly from Juan De La Cruz. At the end of 3, Galleon 2, Lake Erie 1. This is your home for Monarchs baseball. Jake Goudreau leads off things in the top of the 4th. And a pitch misses low and in, ball 1 to him from Jose De La Cruz, who's working with the lead for the first time here today in this season finale. 2-1 Graders. 1-0. And it misses low. 2 balls and no strikes. Goudreau walked back in the first inning in his only plate appearance, but did not get past first base. 2-0. And it stays outside 3-0. Our umpires for today's game, we mentioned Rudy Denis' name once. He is the home plate umpire. Matt Smith on the base paths, making the calls out there. 3-0. Fastball gets over for strike 1. 4, 5, and 6 in the Monarchs order, as the Monarchs look to sweep the season series here today from the Graders 4-0. 3-1, back to the screen it goes on a line. 3-2. One feature of Heisey Park is a lot of space behind home plate in foul territory. It's not quite been exploited yet. But I should say as well that even down the baselines, you see plenty of space. It's hard to hit balls out of play here. Takes almost extra effort to do so. Payoff. Goudreau with a fly ball hit towards right field, right at Hathaway, who will settle underneath it and make the catch. Out number 1. By the way, the rumor mill with Gallion that Christopher Jordan would play all 9 positions. He is still the shortstop to this point in the game, in the top of the 4th, and a 2-1 game. Graders in the lead. Batters Andrew Dyke 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Initial offering on the way from Jose De La Cruz. Low and in, ball 1. Heard a little bit of thunder in between innings here at Heisey Park. 1-0 grounded, and it just got underneath the glove of the third baseman and down the left field line. Andrew Dyke wanted to head to second, but he's going to have to pull up at first with a 1-out single. Just getting a piece of that baseball was Jacob Reimold as it went down the line, but he wasn't going to be able to cut it off. It was a very tough play, and it will be granted a single. So the Monarchs now still down 1 in the hit column, 4-3. They also are down 1 in the scoring column, 2-1 here in the 4th. Now Casey O'Loughlin will take his cuts. 0 for 1 with a pop-out today. Check swing on a breaking ball. Did he go? No, says Matt Smith when they appealed to him, the base umpire. 1-0. Monarchs had great crowds this weekend back home in Flat Rock. Fastball at the knees. Inside corner for strike 1. Talking with Jim DeSena, really appreciated the fan support this year for the Monarchs in their 5th year in Flat Rock. 1-1 liner scorched to right in front of Hathaway, who fields it on a high hop that almost went over his head. Second straight hit for the Monarchs. They're up to 4. And they're trying to get something going in the top of the 4th, trailing 2-1.
Right fielder, number 28, Keegan Watson.
That was a frozen rope to right field, hit by Casey O'Loughlin, jumping all over that fastball from De La Cruz. De La Cruz, like Juan, is also from New York. 5'11", 190 pounds, plays college baseball at Manhattan College. He's an upcoming junior. Chopper foul, third base side, no balls and a strike. You know, and I've referenced some cool college nicknames at times. One of those is the Anteaters. Griffin Mazer represents them from UC Irvine for the Monarchs. The Manhattan Jaspers, another unique one, and De La Cruz plays his college baseball there. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Keegan Watson behind the pitch, 0-2. Watson with a fly out back in the second inning. He is 0 for 1. De La Cruz is 21 years old. Turned 21 on March 22nd of this year. The pitch to Watson. Bends him away. Ball 1. De La Cruz has a 2-2 record with a 6.75 earned run average. 7 prior appearances, 6 starts. Has thrown 26 2/3 innings. And the 1-2. And again, high and tight. Even it up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The strikeout to walk ratio has not been good for De La Cruz, though. He has 16 Ks to 25 walks and has allowed 32 hits through those 26 2/3 innings. Also has batted in 14 games. Another pitch inside, ball 3. Tried to bring it back over the inside corner and missed. 3-2. 1 out, top 4, 2 runners on for the Monarchs, down 2-1. Payoff. And it's cracked foul on a line down the third base line. Still a full count on Watson. De La Cruz is 8 for 36 at the plate with 4 RBIs and 5 runs scored. A .222 batting average. De La Cruz settles in on the rubber. Another 3-2. And it's high, ball 4. Came close to hitting him. 3 straight Monarchs have reached. 2 singles and a walk have loaded the bases for Casey Slattery. Slattery 0 for 1 with a ground out here today. So they do, in fact, say that Watson was hit by that pitch. It was close to nicking him, and it just got a piece. Now some action going to occur from the Galleon bullpen down the third base side as a pitcher will start moving. De La Cruz struggling to get through the 4th. Slattery curveball, low and inside, ball 1. Slattery, the number 8 man in the order for the Monarchs. Middle infield playing back for the double play ball. And it's again low, 2-0 to Slattery. That's Jordan and Harper playing back at second and short for the double play ball. But the corners are creeping in. 2-0. Strike over the outside edge. 2-1. Dietering and Reimold hoping to come home with the play if a ball is hit to them. A double play could get De La Cruz out of some massive trouble here in the 4th. Time called as Juan De La Cruz will get up and out of his stretch. Slattery ahead in the count. De La Cruz able to work from the full windup, and he delivers. And another breaking ball misfired low and in. 3-1. Struggling to get that pitch up enough and out enough to record a strike. Nowhere to put him. The pitch. Slattery with a fly ball towards deep right field, backing up on it, still going back, making the catch on the warning track is Hathaway. Andrew Dyke will come home to score. It's a sacrifice fly for the Monarchs, who nearly got a grand slam a moment ago from Casey Slattery, but they will settle for a sacrifice fly and a 2-2 tie ball game. Slattery picks up RBI number 7 with that sac fly a moment ago, bringing in Dyke. Runners still at first and second as O'Loughlin and Watson had to stay put. Zach Schwarzenberger will try and give the Monarchs the lead. Strike 1 over the outside edge to him, 0-1. Schwarzenberger has walked and has been caught stealing here today. That all came back in the second inning. The pitch. Runners take off. Double steal, and both will be safe. O'Loughlin had a huge jump from third And Keegan Watson was able to quickly follow right behind, moving to second. And Juan de la Cruz hesitated throwing to third, then hesitated throwing to second, so he couldn't pull the string. Now Zach Schwarzenberger is hit by a pitch and will maneuver his way down to first base. Second hit batsman of the inning for De La Cruz. And the plot thickens for the Galleon Graders here in the top of the fourth. Monarchs already have a run in, a 2-2 tie. Now the trainer has come out to have a quick word with our home plate umpire, Rudy Dinas. Not quite sure why, if he's just checking on him. In the meantime, the pitching coach going to come out and have a quick word with the Galleon right-hander. By the way, fans, want to remind you to keep in touch with your favorite baseball team. Head on over to LakeErieMonarchs.com. That's your place to see recaps of past games, box scores, stats, upcoming schedule, which would not be relevant anymore. There is no schedule after today. This will be the conclusion of the 2018 season. And also a full roster. And also, through the multimedia tab on the top, you can find the Monarchs YouTube page on LakeErieMonarchs.com. Also, don't forget to follow the Monarchs on Twitter at GLL_Monarchs and on Facebook, Lake Erie Monarchs. Seventh batter of the inning, it's Caleb Balgard. Pitch low, ball one. Jose De La Cruz struggling. 2 outs, 2-2 tie, top of the fourth. 1-0 on the way. And Balgard lifts it into the field of play towards third. Coming in, Reimold near the grass makes the catch, and Caleb Balgard now 0 for 3 in the game. That is a huge pop-out induced by Jose De La Cruz, and it gets him out of a world of hurt. But the Monarchs do score one on a sac fly from Casey Slattery through 3.5. Monarchs and the Graders are tied at 2. This is your home for Monarchs baseball. Bottom of the fourth inning here at Heisey Park in Galleon. Austin Hathaway leads things off for the Graders, who are tied at 2 with the Monarchs. Lane Schnitz-Paxton will try and hold the Galleon bats at bay. Hathaway stepping in on the left side, 0 for 1 with an air out to left his first time up. On the way, the first pitch of the inning, two-seamer over the outside corner for strike one. Well, there is something to watch over the horizon. A big line of rain and storms extending for quite a stretch. 0-1 fouled away by Hathaway, nothing in 2. Extending from, well, earlier in the day, it was Indianapolis to essentially Kansas City. That's quite a distance. 0-2, fastball high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And initially, the players and coaches might have thought that would interfere with the start time of this game. 1-2 to Hathaway is high and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes. It has held off, although us being in central Ohio here, the rain is now just reaching the Ohio border and in some way moving this direction. 2-2. Hathaway with a bloop to center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Into left center, in fact, as Schwarzenberger tracks it down. Leadoff single for Hathaway is the 5th hit of the game for Galleon. They have a hit in each inning against Lane Schnitz-Paxton. And now Christopher Jordan will step up for the second time. Jordan walked and advanced to second on a wild pitch in the second inning. 2-2 game, bottom of the 4th. Here it comes. Jordan thought about bunting, took up, ball 1. So at this point in time, that rain, which will be pretty substantial when it eventually gets here, could cause a problem if we have a longer game here today. Lane Schnitz-Paxton will fire on to first. A nice bunt from Christopher Jordan right back to the mound. Up to second base goes Austin Hathaway. And they get the tie-breaking run into scoring position at second. Austin Harper will have another chance, 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking in the second inning. So it's a waiting game to see when that rain will arrive. Fastball high and away, ball 1. It appears that Flat Rock is in the clear today. They were in the clear last night. A couple showers went south of the Flat Rock area last night. A 1-ball delivery, and it skips in. 2 balls and no strikes on Austin Harper. A good Monarchs contingent has traveled today with the team to witness the final game of the season. 2-0 is high and away, 3 balls and no strikes. Including the Lambos, parents of Alex, who have been following his movements all throughout the season, watching a successful campaign for the Loyola Marymount product. 3-0 over the inside corner. 3-1 to Harper. Of course, Alex, before the season, had a very severe case of tonsillitis. 3-1, a little chopper over towards Lambo. He'll throw on to first for the out. Staying put at second base is Austin Hathaway. 2 down in the 4th. 2-2 tie. And so his mom and his dad have been very close by because the doctors were telling Alex that he was going to get sick again during the summer. There would be no question about it. But he fortunately has been healthy and has been enjoying the campaign with the Monarchs and learning along the way from great experience in terms of Jim DeSena, the GM, Tim Brown, the coach, Brad Merritt, the assistant coach. Ball up to Eric Wentz, starts his 3rd plate appearance of the game. Strikeout, a walk, and a run scored for Wentz today. 2-2 tie, bottom of the 4th. 1-0. Pitch high and away, 2 balls and no strikes. Many of the players, as you would expect, will be heading home after the conclusion of today's game. Here is a towering pop-up, shallow right center. Will Prater going to have to get out of the way, as coasting under it was Casey O'Laughlin to make the catch, and that will do it in the bottom of the 4th, which is a scoreless bottom of the 4th inning for the Galleon Graders. Let's go to the 5th here at Heisey Park. 2-2 game on the Monarchs Radio Network. Top of the 5th inning, Will Prater will come to the plate in a 2-2 ball game. Kevin Peel here with you. Thanks so much for tuning in today and all season long to Monarchs baseball. Will Prater with a double and a walk here in the game. And he'll swing at the first pitch, a little corker to the left side that will get itself into left field for a base hit. Just found green, did Will Prater. Not a lot behind that baseball as it traveled out towards left field, but did the trick. Monarchs have their 5th hit of the game. Will Prater's been all over the base paths today now on 3 times. And the Monarchs looking to break this 2-2 tie. Now the 3-man in the order, Alex Lambo, who has an RBI knock and a fly out in the game. The pitch, and he will fly one to center. Routine, it will be for Todd Sikowski, who coasts forward to make the catch, out number 1. 2 straight flyouts for Alex Lambo in the game. Jose De La Cruz still out there, although he nearly was unable to get out of the 4th. Got out of a bases-loaded jam and allowed just 1 run. He has really minimized the damage for this Galleon Graders team and kept this at a tie game. Gaudreau looks at strike 1 at the knees. Walking a flyout for Jake Gaudreau today. Lake Erie Monarchs and Galleon Graders in the season finale here at Heisey Park. Turning and throwing over to first is De La Cruz, and Prater's back in safely. He's already been picked off today, so Will Prater has to be careful. Now he's going to draw another throw over there at first. A lot of action at the bag. No balls and a strike. Galleon Graders in their 4th year of existence. 0-1, a little chopper first base side. No balls and 2 strikes. When I was calling games in 2014 for the Monarchs, Galleon was not quite in the league just yet. And it's still fascinating to me every day that the Monarchs were the only Michigan team in this league back in 2014, and it has expanded immensely. Fastball high and away, ball 1 makes it 1-2. With Muskegon, Irish Hills, St. Clair, Saginaw, all entering the league here in the past couple of years. Saginaw being a very late addition this year. 1-2, low and away. Even up the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jake Gaudreau. Left-handed hitting catcher against the righty Jose De La Cruz. De La Cruz has not pitched beyond 6 innings this year. 2-2, another foul ball. Well out of play to the left of home. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We have a couple of the kiddos heading into the parking lot to try and track down that baseball. Another 2-2. Missed somewhere. Looked like it had the outside corner and the knees, but it must have been just a touch low. Fortunate for Gaudreau, he'll stay alive at 3 balls and 2 strikes. De La Cruz will try and get him right here. High and away, ball 4. So another walk for De La Cruz. 2 of the first 3 men have reached to begin the top of the 5th. Monarchs and Graders tied up at 2. Jose De La Cruz has hit 2 batters today and also has 3 walks. 5 base runners that he easily could have sidestepped with a little better command. Now Andrew Dyke, the batter, strikeout, a single and a run scored for Dyke in the game. And he'll kick some dirt around in the right-handed batter's box. Flying an extra moment was De La Cruz. The pitch. And it's inside, ball 1. Up before that last pitch was recorded on the scoreboard out behind left center field, it was saying 4 balls and 1 strike. 1-0. Turning away from that pitch is Dyke to make it 2-0. De La Cruz When he hasn't gotten quick outs in this game, it's usually meant trouble for him. 2-0. And it's low and turns around Juan De La Cruz. They throw down to second. Goudreau will get in safely. Now Prater's going to come home. He's going to score. And the Monarchs will get a run to take the lead 3-2 here in the top of the fifth inning. What was initially a double steal, a delayed steal coming from Jake Goudreau. And the Monarchs are back in front, 3-2. 3-0 count as well on Andrew Dyke. De La Cruz delivers, and it's low for ball 4. Second walk of the inning, third base runner on. So we'll see how that one is ruled. Definitely a stolen base for both Prater and Goudreau. And then we'll have to see if they give an error, maybe to the second baseman, which allowed Prater to score. In the meantime, we'll sort that out as a new pitcher's coming on for the Galleon Graders. No outs in the top of the fifth. The Monarchs have a 3-2 lead. And we'll be right back. You are listening to Monarchs Baseball. Casey O'Loughlin will try and keep the good vibes going for the Monarchs in the top of the fifth. Already a run in, and the Monarchs have taken the lead by a count of 3-2. Pitch outside to Casey O'Loughlin, ball 1. Preston Stanley, the new right-handed hurler for the Graders in the top of the fifth, after De La Cruz went 4 1/3 here today and is in line for the loss. 1-0. High and away, 2 balls and no strikes. O'Loughlin with a pop out and a single here today. He also has stolen a base. Prater, by the way, was able to score on an E2 from the catcher. Strike. 2-1. First error of the game for the Galleon Graders. And a swing and a miss from O'Loughlin. He comes up empty. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. So Goudreau's at second. Dyke is at first. And O'Loughlin stays back on one, flies it to right field. Back goes Hathaway. It one hops the fence. Gaudreau is chugging around third. He'll score. Trying to follow behind him is Andrew Dyke, but he will pull up at third. And it is an RBI double for Casey O'Loughlin to drive in a run, and the Monarchs have a 4-2 lead here in the top of the fifth. Casey O'Loughlin picking up RBI number 12 of the season on a double that found its way over Hathaway's head and right. Monarchs with a 2 spot, up to 6 hits in the ballgame. And that run will be charged to Jose De La Cruz. He is on the hook for one more run, potentially. Pitch outside, ball 1 to Keegan Watson, who has flown out and has been hit by a pitch today. Preston Stanley works from the set position, the 1-0. And Watson airs it just to the left of our press box. And against the bleachers heading down towards the Galion Tigers football stadium, making a loud thudding noise in the box, 1-1. Preston Stanley wearing the number 39, 1-1, a called strike to Watson, 1-2. 6'3", 220 pounds from Malone College, an upcoming freshman from Powell, Ohio. 1-2 instead. Stepping off is Stanley. Watson on base once in the game. Pitch is en route, and it's low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Was hit by a pitch and stole a base in the 4th inning. Flew out to right in the 2nd. Did the University of Nebraska Cornhusker. Low to him for ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Watson with 4 RBIs this year, trying to improve upon that 185 batting average. Payoff. And a towering pop-up heading towards the right side of the press box now. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Our elevated view down the first base line, allowing us to take in the sights and sounds today. 3-2, and it was just high, ball 4. Another walk in the inning for the Galion Graders pitching staff. 3 walks in the inning and 1 single, also a double mixed in. Galion down 4-2 in the game. And the bases are once again full for Casey Slattery. There's just 1 out in the inning, 2 runs in. Casey Slattery with a ground out and a sac fly in the game. Strike 1 at the knees. Slattery driving in that 7th run of the season earlier on. 0-1 is on the way. Outside. Even it up 1-1. Well, the Galion Graders started off this season 5-0. We're feeling really great about how things were progressing. 1-1. Check swing. Slattery went too far on a curveball in the dirt, 1-2. But they were also scuffling going into that first series. The Monarchs played the Graders back on July 3rd and July 4th up in Flat Rock. And 1-2 is tipped foul, third base side. Keep it the same count. Because Galion, they started 5-0 and then were 9-4. So over the next several games, they got themselves up to 9-4. So they were playing 500 ball, and then they lost 5 straight heading into that Monarch series. 1-2 is fouled away again by Slattery. Then the Monarchs handed them their 6th and 7th consecutive losses. Fall under 500. And Galion has played under 500 baseball since. It's just never been able to recover. 1-2. High pop-up right of home. That will get back into the bleachers behind home plate. Kiddo's chasing after it once again. Seventh pitch of the at-bat will be coming to Casey Slattery. 4-2 Monarchs, top 5. One out. Watson is at first. O'Loughlin at second. Dyke at third. The pitch. Rung him up. Strike 3. Slattery put down on strikes. Backdoored by Preston Stanley. 2 down now in the visiting half of the 5th. The bases are loaded, and the Monarchs are definitely going to want to try and get more than 2 runs in this inning. Want to put the graders in a big hole here if they can. Batter is Zach Schwarzenberger, who has a walk and it's also been hit by a pitch. Swings in front of that one for strike 1. Just 2 appearances for Preston Stanley this year out of the Galleon bullpen. No record with a 12.7 ERA. Here it comes. Schwarzenberger takes a strike, 0-2. Both of his appearances were starts before today, but has thrown just 5 2/3 innings. 7 Ks, 8 walks, 9 hits allowed in those 5 2/3. An 0-2, Schwarzenberger takes outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's been used sporadically throughout the season. July 21st against the Licking County Settlers. July 12th against the Irish Hills Leprechauns. Both wins. 1-2, swing and a miss. Schwarzenberger strikes out. And the Monarchs, they get a couple runs, but can't put the pedal to the floor. They get just 2 runs and leave them loaded. 2 hits in the inning as well. And they also capitalize on an error by the Graders. Halfway home, and the Monarchs lead it over the Graders 4-2. You are listening to Monarchs Baseball. Jacob Reimold will be looking at ball 1 to start off the bottom of the 5th inning. Monarchs trailing in the game, or actually leading, I should say, 4-2. Pitch is a little inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Reimold with a triple and a single and a run scored in the game for Galleon. They have been fighting to come back the entirety of the game. Now Reimold with a ground ball that will head all the way to the fence out in center field. Frozen rope liner, I should say. And it's a double for Jacob Reimold to start off things in the bottom of the 5th inning with the Monarchs ahead 4-2. And now the next man will be Juan De La Cruz. De La Cruz trying to drive in a run. De La Cruz with a single and a sac fly in the game. 2 RBIs. Lane Schnitz-Paxton will work from the first base side of the rubber with the right-handed batter up in the box. And the pitch is outside for ball one. 1-0 count on Juan de la Cruz. And here it comes. And it's a liner that got just over the mound. Backhanded by Prater. Throws off balance towards first. It's way off. The throw is. And Casey Slattery is able to keep it at least somewhere near the infield. But it's a throwing error going to be charged here to Will Prater on a line drive. Although that could borderline be a hit. We'll have to see how that one is called upstairs. But in the meantime, the Galleon Graders are looking to attack as they have runners on the corners with nobody out. Now Todd Sikowski, who has grounded into a double play and flown out in the game. Now that ball bounces off the plate, and it will allow a run to score on a wild pitch, and it's a 4-3 game. Up to second base goes Juan de la Cruz on the play. So Lane Schnitz-Paxton, maybe not quite as sharp as he has been during the game here today. And quickly, another run has come in to score. Monarchs just don't want to give up that tie game. Swinging a foul ball. Back to the screen, 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, I do apologize for that slight delay at home, fans, with things. We had a scoring issue, so upstairs was trying to talk to me during the inning. 1-1 count. Todd Sikowski, the cleanup man, in the batter's box. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Lane Schnitz-Paxton is ahead in the count with nobody down in the bottom of the 5th. Sun is still covered by the clouds. And 1-2 is chopped foul to make it still 1-2. Sikowski trying to get on for Matthew Dietering, who's in the on-deck circle for the Graders. 1-2. And it misses high. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Sikowski. Sikowski in that first series of the year got starts and played in center field both games. Had at least a hit in both games. 2-hit game in the first of the series. Now Gaudreau will let another one get away. Another wild pitch from Lane Schnitz-Paxton, who was up to 4 wild pitches in the game. And up to third base goes Juan de la Cruz. 2 in this at bat alone. Monarchs do not have anyone warming up down the first base side. And there's nobody out in the inning. The Galleon Graders looking like they could potentially break through to at least tie this game. Three-two. High, ball 4, also well inside. Schnitz-Paxton just doesn't quite seem to have it as he usually does. Has hit a batter, has walked 3 now in the game, and 4 wild pitches. I'll bring up Matthew Dietering, who has singled and been plunked in the game. Slattery and Balgard at the corners are playing into the cutouts, although Slattery guarding the bag at first. Sikowski will steal second base. And it's ball 1. 1-0. Now for those watching the live stats at home, it seems like they are resolving the issue with last inning scoring. 1-0, a line drive to center, base hit. And this is going to score both of them. On his way to the plate is Sikowski, who followed behind Juan de la Cruz. It's a 2-run single for Matthew Dietering, and the Galleon Graders, just like that, are back in front 5-4.
Designated hitter number 36, Vince Donato.
3-run inning for Galleon. Back and forth game, no one giving an inch here today. Now Vince Donato will come to the plate, but will it be against a new pitcher? Lane Schnitz-Paxton kicking around some dirt. Brad Merritt talking to him here. Been a rough outing for Schnitz-Paxton to this point. His team just gave him a 2-run lead. But one thing you have to consider, too, he has been the recipient of a line drive that hit him in the back in the bottom of the second inning. Now, I don't think that really affected him or his pitching for the day, but he definitely has not quite been as sharp as per usual. Part of the problem for the Monarchs, too, they've already left 8 men on base offensively through 5 innings, including leaving the bases loaded the last 2 innings. Not putting the foot down on the neck of the Galleon Graders, and here they are back in the lead. Ball 1 low and away to Vince Donato, who was struck out and grounded into a fielder's choice in this game. 1-0. Strike called. Make it 1-1 on Vince Donato. So the 2 spot by the Monarchs answered with at least 3 in the 5th. Now another line drive. That will find the outfield grass. A single for Vince Donato. First 5 men have gotten on base in the bottom of the 5th against Lane Schnitz-Paxton. 4 hits and a walk to this point in time. And Lane has allowed at least 1 hit each and every inning. Galleon's up to 9 now in the contest. Hathaway takes ball 1 outside, 1-0. Hathaway with a flyout and a single in the contest. He is 1 for 2. And it kicks off the glove of Jake Goodrow. That will allow 1 man to move up. That's Matthew Dietering, third base on the pass ball. A sloppy bottom of the 5th for the Monarchs. 5-4 game, bottom half of the 5th. Man at third is now Dietering. Donato at first. Still nobody out. 2-0. Fastball over the middle of the plate. Strike 1. Galleon Graders hoping to snap out of their 5-game losing streak. 2-1. And the pitch misses up. Ball 3. 3-1 on Hathaway. Looks like Brandon Williams is the man throwing down the first base line, as another walk is given to Austin Hathaway, and I think the hook is getting closer to coming for Lane Schnitz-Paxton, who's just not being able to get outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Brandon Williams is wearing the 3rd different number that I've seen him wear this year, 27, 10, and 9. So that makes things a little complicated for the opposing team. And because of that, I'm probably going to have to go tell upstairs that Brandon Williams is coming into the game. Monarchs trailing 5-4 in the bottom of the 5th. New pitcher coming on is Lane Schnitz-Paxton's game and season are over. But what a fantastic campaign it was for Schnitz-Paxton. We'll be right back. You are listening to Monarchs Baseball. Brandon Williams, the new pitcher, and again wearing his third different number of the season for the Monarchs. As Brendan Lovell is not with the team today, swinging a foul ball out of play, hit by Christopher Jordan for strike one. Walking a sac bunt for Christopher Jordan here today. Jordan, the number 8 man in the order, and also the 7th to hit in the inning. Pop-up heading right towards the press box. It's up over top. Couple thuds on its way down towards the track, which surrounds the football field of the Galion High School Tigers. No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Low and away. 1-2. Brandon Williams looks like he's going to have to log several innings here today for the Monarchs, with Lane Schnitz-Paxton going out early. 1-2, a line drive towards left, down for a base hit. That'll be an RBI single. Everyone moves up 90 feet, and it continues. The Galion Graders in the lead 6-4. That's another run charged to Lane Schnitz-Paxton, who is now allowed 6 in the game. Coming in to score on the play was Dietering. Still do not have an out in the 5th. And now Austin Harper will come up. Strikeout and a ground out for Harper today. Pitch outside, ball 1. Bases still loaded, 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th. 6-4 game, Galion leads. 1-0. Harper takes a strike. Even it up, 1-1. Along with the Graders, 1-1. Pitch low, 2-1. Along with it being a tough stretch for them, losing 5 consecutive ball games entering the day today, they've also played tough competition as of late. The Southern Ohio Copperheads, who just won't lose to anyone. 2-1 pitch over the outside corner, even it up 2-2. They dropped 2 straight to them. Kept close in the second game, losing 7-5 on Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, white-hot Hamilton Joes. Galion could not slow them down. 2-2, swing and a miss. Harper out on strikes. Key strikeout for Brandon Williams. And that's the first out here in the inning. Eric Wentz up for the 4th time in the game. Strikeout, walk, a flyout, and a run scored here today. A very lengthy 5th inning. Ground ball hit towards first. Slattery going to come home and sail it to the backstop. That's going to allow another run to come in behind it, and it's 8-4 Galion here in the bottom of the 5th. A wayward throw from Casey Slattery, who had time and just couldn't make a clean throw to the plate. Jordan will move up to 3rd, and Wentz will get 2nd on that error. Scoring was Vince Donato and Austin Hathaway. And the scoring was in a little bit of trouble upstairs after the last inning. But, boy, this is going to be rough for him trying to catch up now. Jacob Reimold, the batter, swing and a miss. Second time that Reimold has batted here in the 5th. Double, single, and a triple. And 2 runs scored in the game. Well, I think you can hear what he's missing. He flies one to deep center field, backing up on it. It will be short of the fence and just be a sacrifice fly. It is caught by Casey O'Laughlin, but for a moment that looked like he was venturing to make a cycle bid for Jacob Reimold. Instead, it's just a sacrifice fly and a 9-4 lead for the Galion Graders, who have put up 7 runs in the bottom of the 5th. Another ouchie inning for the Monarchs. Now, Juan De La Cruz will bat. 11th man to come up in the inning. 2 singles and a sac fly for De La Cruz here today. Also has scored once. And on the right side is De La Cruz. Runners at just second base now in the 0-1. Ground ball towards Lambo. Can't stop it. It's into center field. Tracking towards the plate is Eric Wentz. He will score, and Galion has a 10-4 lead. Brandon Williams has not been able to slow down these Galion Graders, who are putting on quite a show here in their season finale. Now Todd Sikowski, another try at the plate, ball one. Sikowski with a walk, a fly out, and he's also bounced into a twin killing here today. 10-4 in the bottom of the fifth. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Even up the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Almost 2 hours into this contest as we are approaching the 6 o'clock hour here in the Eastern time zone. 1-1. Fastball over the outside edge, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brandon Williams is 6'3", 205 pounds from Wayne State University, an upcoming junior out of Sterling Heights, Michigan. 1-2, fouled straight back. 1-2 on Todd Sikowski, the cleanup hitter for the Graders. The cloud cover has gotten a little thicker in this long 5th inning, something we are watching. 1-2 from Williams. Swing and a miss. Chase the high fastball, and the inning mercifully comes to an end for the Monarchs. But not before the Galion Graders put up a big 8 spot. And after 5 innings of play, it's Galion 10 and Lake Erie 4. This is your home for Monarchs baseball. Top of the 6th inning, Caleb Balgard begins with a foul ball down the third base line. Preston Stanley back to work, but boy, is his lead now a lot more comfortable. Balgard hitting the forearm by a pitch. And the Monarchs get their leadoff man on here in the top of the 6th. Jose De La Cruz faced 24 batters through 4 1/3 inning. 87 pitches, and both of the runs were charged to him in that top of the 5th. The pitch, fly ball, towards center, right at Will Prater. Catch is made for out number 1. Back to first goes Caleb Balgard. Now, for all those watching the scoring at home, they're doing their best to catch up upstairs above us. As I've been assisting and trying to catch up after a series of setbacks with the scoring up there. Can be quite a complicated program, the point streak at times. Now Alex Lambo take a pitch for strike 1. Lambo with a single, a fly out, and a fly out. 1 for 3 in the game for Lambo. That single brought home the initial run of the game back in the first from the Monarchs, who were down 10-4 in the 6th. 0-1 is high. 1 ball, 1 strike. And I'll tell you, there has not been a single 1-2-3 inning in this game. In fact, the minimum has only been faced once in the contest. So it has been hard to track. 1-1 swing and a miss, 1-2. Both pitching staffs just trying to battle through here today. Stepping back is Preston Stanley, and he'll throw over to first just to keep Balgard at bay. One, two. Swing and a miss. Lambo down on strikes. Preston Stanley will pick up his 3rd strikeout, and he has 4 outs against the Lake Erie Monarchs here so far. 2 down in the 6th. The man at first, that's Caleb Balgard. And Jake Goodrow will stride to the plate 0 for 1 with a fly out and 2 walks in the game. The pitch. Missed him inside. Almost hit him 1-0. 4:05 start, mid-afternoon baseball here on a Sunday, the regular season finale. 1-0. Called strike over the outside edge. 1-1 to Jake Goodrow. Preston Stanley comes set and delivers. Chopper foul to the left of home. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We've unfortunately seen innings like the bottom of the 5th quite often this year for the Monarchs, just not able to minimize the damage, and it gets out of control, and before you know it, 8 runs are in against you, and you're buried trying to come back. 2-2 on Goodrow as a fastball missed high. Man at first is Balgard. Here's the pitch from Stanley. Outside. Full count. Goodrow has seen at least 3 balls in every at-bat now. He's been patient at the plate. Payoff. Line drive, and it's hooking fair down the left field line towards the corner. Balgard is going to pull up at 3rd, and he could have easily scored. But we'll pull up at 3rd, and it will be just a single for Jake Goodrow. The throw came in towards 2nd. That's the reasoning as to why I said he could have scored with ease. Andrew Dyke will bat, strike out, a walk, and a single. That was before Andrew Dyke is being pinch hit for by Robert Bell, who will pinch hit for him in the DH spot here in the bottom of the 6th, rather top of the 6th. Strike call to Robert Bell from Bethune-Cookman. He is a Wildcat. Hails from Palm Coast, Florida. Switch hitter, batting on the left side against Preston Stanley. 0-1. And it's chopped right to first. Routine. As Dietering goes to the bag, and that will do it. So Robert Bell now 0 for 1 here today. Monarchs, they get a couple men on, but do not score. Middle of the 6th, And the Galleon Graders are up 10-4. This is your home for Monarchs baseball. Bottom of the sixth inning begins with a pop-out. Matthew Dietering, who is retired for the first time today. Brandon Williams able to get him. 10-4 Galleon with one out in the bottom of the sixth. Vince Donato with a single and 3 previous tries. We'll take ball one. Brandon Williams still out there after he replaced Lane Schnitz-Paxton. Called strike to Donato, 1-1. Schnitz-Paxton was not able to get out of the bottom of the fifth inning. 1-1 is outside, 2 balls and a strike. Still a lot of clouds around here in Galleon today. 2-1. And a check swing, that will go foul on the first base side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So when I said Brendan Lovell wasn't in attendance today, I in fact was incorrect. Lovell is here, although because he started on Friday not in uniform, Brandon Williams wearing his normal number 9. Chopper over to third. Balgart's got to sling it, and he does across. 2 up, 2 down against Brandon Williams here in the bottom of the sixth. Williams trying to get an easy routine inning for the Monarchs, which they've not been able to do against this Galleon offense here today. Brandon Williams has an 0-1 record with a 2.45 ERA in 4 prior appearances. Also has a save. Strike called to Hathaway, 0-1. Four prior games for Williams. Also, that save came against the Galleon Graders last night. Called strike to Hathaway, 0-2. 3 2/3 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, a walk, and 3 hits permitted. So he's working in consecutive nights. He has filled a nice void for the Monarchs at times. 0-2 is outside, 1-2. Brandon Williams, one of those late additions, who made his first appearance 16 days ago on July 13th against the Scouts. 1-2, flied to center. Backing up on it and making the catch is Casey O'Laughlin. And the Monarchs turn in a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the sixth. Takes just 10 pitches from Brandon Williams in that inning. Bottom of the 7th is next. Monarchs, they trail at 10-4 on your home for Monarchs baseball. Oh, one grounded back to the mound, and it's in 1-3 put out for Casey O'Laughlin to begin the top of the 7th. Again, fans, super sorry. Still having a ton of scoring issues upstairs, so I'm having to run back and forth at this point in time to help them out. Monarchs down 10-4 to the Galleon Graders here in the 7th, and Keegan Watson will be the batter. Fly out, hit by a pitch, and a walk in the game here today. And the pitch is low for ball 1. Watson has not scored a run for the Monarchs in the game. Called strike to Watson. Monarchs scored 1 in the first, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the 5th. 1-1. And a fly ball hit well towards right field, backing up on it, still going back at the corner and making the catch in foul ground was the right fielder Austin Hathaway. What a play for out number 2. 2 down here in the 7th. As retiring 4 straight now is Preston Stanley. Batter's Casey Slattery. 0 for 2 with a sac fly in the game. And he waves and misses at strike 1. Oh, 1. And misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Casey Slattery batting on the left side against Preston Stanley. He's gone over 2 innings. 1-1 line to left. That's a base hit. Slattery will pick up a single for the Monarchs.
Now batting for the Lake Erie Monarchs.
8 hits in the game for Lake Erie. They're down big 10-4 in the 7th. And the next man up is Zach Schwarzenberger. On base twice, a walk and a hit batsman. Strikeout as well. Pitch outside, ball 1. Preston Stanley, his longest appearance came July 12th against the Leprechauns through 3 2/3 innings. Schwarzenberger swinging for the fences came up empty, 1-1. Allowed 4 earned runs, 3 hits, 6 walks, 3 strikeouts, and faced 22 batters. 1-1. Strike right over the heart of the plate. 1-2 on Zach Schwarzenberger. Getting his lead off of first is Slattery. And the 1-2. Bounces in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jose De La Cruz threw 4 1/3 innings before Stanley has taken over in this top of the 7th. 2-2. Ball outside. Full count. Schwarzenberger will try and get on base. Here's the payoff. And it's outside, ball 4. So a single and a walk consecutively against Preston Stanley in the 7th.
Batting now for the Monarchs is number 21.
And the Monarchs will continue to bat. Caleb Balgard, 0 for 3, and has been hit by a pitch in the game. Very cloudy evening for baseball now. The sun the rain starts to come in very slowly from the west. Not quite yet, though. Ball 1 to Balgard, low and away. 2 outs, 2 on, 10-4 Galleon in the top of the 7th. 1-0. Balgard flies one to right, coming in half the way, puts it away for out number 3. And that's it. That's all in the top of the 7th inning for the Monarchs. They get a hit and leave 2 men on. Stretch time here in Galleon. The Monarchs trailing 10-4 in the season finale. You are listening to Monarchs Baseball. Strike 1 into Christopher Jordan to begin the bottom of the 7th. Logan Schmidt, the new pitcher for the Monarchs from Miami of Ohio. Fouled back to the screen, no balls and 2 strikes. He will replace Brandon Williams and become the 3rd man to pitch in this game for Lake Erie. The 0-2 pitch. And it's high and away for ball 1. Christopher Jordan today with a walk, a sac bunt, a single, and a run scored in the game. 1-2. Popped up, out of play to the right of home. That will get foul, 1-2. An 8-run bottom of the 5th inning is the main reason this game has gotten out of hand. Monarchs have not been able to close at all. Swing and a miss from Christopher Jordan, strike 3. That's the first out in the bottom of the 7th. Logan Schmitz, 6'3", 185 pounds, from Miami of Ohio, as I mentioned. Upcoming sophomore from Bolingbrook, Illinois. And he and a Muskegon Clipper, who I cannot place at this point in time, both were from Bolingbrook, Illinois. Swing and a miss, and the bat goes flying towards the first base dugout. Austin Harper lost the grip. 2 strikeouts and a ground out for Harper today. And maybe because of his struggles at the plate, he swung a little too hard out of his shoes. 0-1. Logan Schmidt is 19 years old, turned 19 on March 12th of this year. Making just his 3rd relief appearance of the season. 0-1 from Schmidt. Pitches high, ball 1, evening up 1-1 on Harper. Lefty waiting on the pitch from the righty, and it's low and in, 2-1. 2-2 record, 5.7 ERA for Schmidt. 5 prior starts. And now, what is his 8th appearance? 30 innings pitched, 24 Ks, 20 walks. 2-1 outside, 3-1 on Harper. 34 hits allowed. Logan Schmidt has won his last 2 appearances. 3-1 is flown to left. Going over into the alleyway, Schwarzenberger reaches up, makes the one-handed grab, out number 2. 2 down in the bottom of the 7th as the pitching maybe starting to get a little bit of a rhythm after a very hectic middle portion of this ball game.
Now batting for the Galleon Graders, top of the order, left fielder number 23.
11 of the 14 runs scored in this game were in either the 4th or the 5th inning here today. Now Eric Wentz, top of the order. Dirt ball, 1-0. Strikeout, walk, a run scored. 2 runs scored for Wentz, make it, and a fly out in the game. And he will also sail 1 to left. Schwarzenberger moving to the line. Catch made, out number 3. And that's it for the Galleon Graders, who go in order. The Monarchs have now retired 7 straight Galleon Graders. Heading to the 8th at Heisey Park, 10-4. Galleon is trailing, or rather leading Lake Erie. This is your home for Monarchs baseball. Prater, Lambeau, Goudreau, 2, 3, and 4 in the Monarchs order. 10-4 game in the top of the 8th, the regular season finale for the Lake Erie Monarchs. Outside strike called to Will Prater, who has been on twice, a double and a single, scored a run. Also, will make it 3 times. He's walked and flown out in the game. Swing and a miss. Well ahead of the pitch, 0-2. Appreciate you tuning in. Kevin Peel with you One final time in 2018. 0-2. And it's outside. A ball and 2 strikes on Will Prater. Rung up, strike 3. Will Prater out of there to begin this top of the 8th inning.
For the Monarchs, now batting is number 3.
And that will bring up Alex Lambo. 1 for 4 with an RBI knock way back in the first inning. Monarchs were on the board first today, 1-0. Galleon tied it in the bottom of the first. Pitch from Preston Stanley upstairs, ball 1. Galleon went into the lead for the first time in the third with a single tally. Monarchs tied it the next half inning in the fourth. 1-0, a called strike at the knees, 1-1 on Lambo. And then it was the Monarchs who jumped in front with 2 runs in the top of the 5th and were looking up at that point. Fastball skipped away, 2 balls and a strike. Had a 4-2 lead, but then the 8-run bottom of the 5th came about, and things cycled out of control for the Monarchs. 2-1. Ground ball over to third. Spinning and throwing over to first. Pretty play by Jacob Reimold, who's had a great day at the plate, and he's been steady in the field as well.
Batting now for the Lake Erie Monarchs is number 20.
The Monarchs have had 3 straight set down by Preston Stanley, who's in line for the W here today. Pitch to Jake Goudreau, and he swings and grounds one to the right side, right towards second base. Scooped by Harper. His toss on to first is true, out number 3. And no damage for the Monarchs in what is a 1-2-3, top of the 8th for Lake Erie against Preston Stanley. Middle of the 8th here at Heisey Park, 10-4 Monarchs trail. This is your home for Monarchs baseball. Logan Schmidt's first pitch in the bottom of the 8th is ball 1 to Jacob Reimold. What a day for the number 2 hitter in the Galleon order. 1-0. And Reimold lines one to left field, a base hit. A 4-hit game casually for Jacob Reimold here today. He has a triple, a single, a double, and a sac fly, and now another single. And he scored twice. 10-4 in the bottom of the 8th, and Juan De La Cruz comes up. It's been a triple single game for Juan De La Cruz. He has 3 of them. Scored a run and has also driven in a run, make it 2 runs, 3 runs on a sac fly. He also had RBI singles in the 1st and the 6th. Hard to track, as I mentioned a couple times here. Slider low and outside, ball 1 from Logan Schmidt. Schmidt's last appearance came 5 days ago on Tuesday against the Grand Lake Mariners. A winning effort. 1-0 pitch. Line drive through into right field. Keegan Watson will field it and get it in time to keep Reimold put at first base. Todd Sikowski, the next batter, 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored here today. Gallion up to 13 hits in the game. They're out hitting the Monarchs 13-8 and leading on the scoreboard 10-4. Regular season finale, believe it or not, here in 2018. It has come and gone. Monarchs hoping for win number 18, but on the wrong end of the scoreboard at this point in time. Sikowski in on the right side against the righty Schmidt. And a breaking ball at the knees outside corner is taken for strike one. Schmidt threw 6 innings and has done so in consecutive starts. Both wins for him this month. 0-1 on the way. Check swing. Ball gets away from Gaudreau. And that will most likely be another wild pitch on the Monarchs. Maybe a ball that Gaudreau could have stopped, but it was in the dirt. So the fault's going to go to the pitcher there. Schmidt picks up a wild pitch. 5 wild pitches for the Monarchs here today. And at times that has been a big problem for Lake Erie and allowing runs to come in. That also takes away the opportunity for a double play. The infield is going to come in for the Monarchs. Sikowski will lift one into foul ground left side. It will stay in the field to play. Balgard going back on it makes the catch with his back to the infield. Huge out. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Runners at second and third. Gallion 10, Lake Erie 4. And now Matthew Dietering steps up. 2 singles. A hit by a pitch and a pop out for Dietering today. He's also driven in 2 runs. Here it comes. Low and in, ball 1. In that 6-inning start for Logan Schmidt, 4 earned runs, 6 hits, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Faced 26 against the Mariners on Tuesday. 1-0, another air ball down the line. Coming over, making the catch is Zach Schwarzenberger. Spins and throws towards home plate. It's going to be well late. And a sacrifice fly for Matthew Dietering drives in his 3rd run of the day. And Gallion adds a run, 11-4, bottom half of the 8th. As Jacob Reimold comes in to score. Staying put at second base is De La Cruz. Maybe more important for Schmidt is getting the out, and he did so there. Vince Donato, 1 for 4 with a single and a run scored today. The DH pops one out of play, foul. No balls and a strike. Monarchs have Bell, O'Loughlin, and Watson due up in the 9th. Against, at this point, Preston Stanley, but there is a right-hander throwing in the bullpen down the third base side. 1-0 bounces in. Nice block by Gaudreau. Make that 1 ball, 1 strike. Scoreboard had it wrong. They had it 1-0, and it was an 0-1 count. Schmidt from the stretch. He delivers to the righty. Line drive, and it's not stopped by Lambo. It's up into center field for a base hit. De La Cruz will cruise into third. Second hit of the inning for the Gallion Graders. And they're threatening for more, up 11-4 in the bottom of the 8th. First run they have scored since the 5th. Came a moment ago on the Dietering sac fly. Now Austin Hathaway. A couple flyouts, a single, and a walk in the game. The pitch. At the knees, inside corner, strike 1. Hathaway, the starting right fielder today for Gallion. The tossing in the bullpen has ceased, and it appears that New pitcher will be ready to come out. High and away, ball 1 to Austin Hathaway. 3 2/3 innings is what Preston Stanley's at right now. 1-1. Schmidt delivers ball 2 high and away, 2-1. All for the Monarchs today. It is Kyle Bischoff's birthday, and he made an appearance in last night's game and got a victory. Now a pop-up heading foul towards the picnic tables down the third base side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I did not see Bischoff down there, but I'm sure he's here cheering on his University of Toledo teammate, Lane Schnitz-Paxton, who got the start in the game, is on the hook for the loss, though. 2-2, just a little low below the knees. Full count. Schmidt trying to get out of it. Runners on the corners, 11 for Galleon. Here's the pitch. And another fly ball foul. Hathaway keeps on fighting. So the good news for the Graders is that they look to be on their way towards ending this long skid, which has really taken them out of playoff contention. 3-2 outside for a walk. And while we have a moment, why don't we take a look and see what's going on around the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League on this final day of the regular season. Lima Locos still battling with the St. Clair Green Giants for that final playoff spot. Sugar Beets and Green Giants will be getting going here shortly. Clippers and Leprechauns also will be starting shortly at Siena Heights. Elevated fastball, strike 1 to Christopher Jordan. Single, a walk, a sac bunt, and a strikeout for Jordan today. Not in that order. 0-1. Popped up, right of home. That will get foul. No balls and 2 strikes. 3 hits in the inning for the Galleon Graders. They're up to 14 in the ballgame. Pitch is low and in. 1-2 on Jordan. Cincinnati Steam and Hamilton Joes. Right now, the 2 and 3 seeds in the South also going at it today. The Steam trying to win the division outright, but Southern Ohio not obliging. Foul ball at home plate keeps it 1-2. So the Southern Ohio Copperheads, who are blowing out the Licking County Settlers right now in Newark. Bottom of the ninth, 13-3. Southern Ohio is going to be your Southern Division champion at 31-10. And that rainout's going to help them out a little bit. Fastball missed outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Of course, Southern Ohio was not able to make up their game with the Lake Erie Monarchs back at the end of June. They played a rain-shortened 5-inning game that Southern Ohio won in Athens, and then they could not play the second. 2-2, liner to right, down, base hit, and 2 more going to come in to score on the play. De La Cruz and Donato score. Hathaway's into third, and Christopher Jordan has an RBI double. It's a 3 spot here in the bottom of the 8th. And a 13-4 lead for the Graders. Raiders bats just not quite done just yet. As Jordan picks up 2 RBIs. And now another line drive towards center field coming in, and coasting underneath it is O'Laughlin. That's the final out in the bottom of the 8th. The Monarchs allowed 3 more runs to come in, and heading to the 9th. Last chance for the Lake Erie Monarchs in 2018. And they trail it by a count of 13-4. This is your home for Lake Erie Monarchs Baseball, monarchsradio.com. One final plug to make sure, fans, that you follow the Lake Erie Monarchs on Twitter at GLL_Monarchs and on Facebook, Lake Erie Monarchs, your home for your favorite baseball team. We appreciate you tuning in here to the broadcast all season long and also following on social media. It's been a great year. I've had a lot of help along the way from Jim DeSena, general manager. 20 years he's been doing it, and 20 years he does it the right way all the time. Along with that, we also have Preston Baker. Did a great job helping out with the scoreboard, writing recaps. A guy that wants to be behind the mic one day, and I think he is on the trend upwards towards getting to that. Jacob Poverman, our PA voice, back at Flat Rock Field, and Brendan Molnar, our statistician, doing great work all year long as Robert Bell fouls one off down the first base line. No balls and a strike. Top of the ninth inning, Galleon in the lead 13-4. Been a team effort and been around a lot of great kids this year. 0-1 bounces into Robert Bell, 1-1. Bell pinch hit for Andrew Dyke in the sixth and grounded out to first. After a hectic middle innings here today, things have settled in. Preston Stanley might allow a home run. It will tail foul just right of the foul pole, and Robert Bell puts up his head in disbelief. Oh, goodness. A home run that could have been, and instead it's a foul ball down the right field line. Brad Merritt coming in from third base right now and saying, what? Jim DeSena, also a GM, is the first base coach, and he right now is chatting a little bit here with Matt Smith, the base umpire. But it's just a long foul ball for Robert Bell, who nearly blasted another home run to the heavens. That ball was tattooed. Bell has 3 home runs this summer, along with 19 RBIs. And a .253 batting average coming into the game. 1-2 misses outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So not quite able to exit the ballpark was Robert Bell. 2-2. And a foul heading back out of play. And just missing a Dodge Journey out there in the parking lot. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's the thing about this view up in the press box on the first base side, a football press box. You could see those foul balls heading out there. Curveball misses down and in 3-2. So while the game continues to go on, I can start assessing the damage reports from my view up here in the booth. So we have a youngster going to chase the baseball. Robert Bell swings and misses, strike 3. And that's the first out here in the top of the ninth. Preston Stanley has been going all the way since the 5th inning. Jose De La Cruz pitched the first 4 1/3, and Preston Stanley has come into the game and has really settled in, becoming a second starter. We mentioned that his first 2 appearances were starts. Put on the ground, foul by O'Laughlin down the first base side, 0-1. O'Laughlin has 2 hits in the game. He's 2 for 4 with a single and an RBI double in the game. 0-1. And swing and a miss, going for the fences, 0-2. Monarchs, when you look back at this season, definitely did not have the results in the winning column that they would have liked. 0-2 is launched, and that will be pulled just foul down into the right field corner. Did not have home run distance, but would have been an extra base hit. Still 0-2 on O'Laughlin. But these kids so young, many of them didn't even play this past year at the collegiate level. Redshirted their freshman years and will be factors in their program going forward. Pitch outside, 1-2. And sometimes you just need that first experience of college baseball, and these kids have definitely gotten that here in a great league, the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. Pitch misses inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes to O'Laughlin. So it's going to be fun to see how all these players go throughout their college careers and then where they play in the summer. O'Laughlin swings and misses. The ball gets to the backstop. O'Loughlin's trotting down to first, and he's going to reach on the dropped third strike. and what is ultimately a wild pitch against Preston Stanley.
Batting now for the Monarchs is number 28, Keegan Watson.
Second strikeout of the inning for Preston Stanley. And he has 5 of those in the game. And that's a bad way to end your outing. As Neil Schaffner, first-year manager, going to come out, make the call, and a new pitcher will come on as Preston Stanley gives up the baseball. In a 13-4 game in the top of the 9th inning, Keegan Watson will come to the plate as Stanley's appearance comes to an end. We'll let you know who the new pitcher is. It's actually Christopher Jordan, who will be pitching today for the Galleon Graders. We'll talk about that in just a moment. You are listening to Monarchs Baseball. Christopher Jordan, the new pitcher. Pitch misses low, ball 1 to Keegan Watson. Man is at first base. Casey O'Laughlin struck out but reached on a wild pitch to put himself on first. 1-0. Strike at the knees, outside corner, brings it to 1-1. Preston Stanley through 4 innings. He is in line for the W. Today, Lane Schnitz-Paxton on the hook for the loss. Fouled down the third base line, a ball and 2 strikes. Christopher Jordan is from West Virginia State University, an upcoming junior from Evans, West Virginia. 5'7", 165 pounds. Right-hander throws. Rung him up, strike 3. Out of there is Keegan Watson, who's now 0 for 3 today with a walk. And he's also been hit by a pitch. But the Monarchs are down to their final out in 2018. Down 13-4 with a man at first. Casey O'Laughlin. Here's Casey Slattery. Nope, Slattery will be pinch hit for by Griffin Mazer.
First at bat is a junior at the University of California, Irvine.
The UC Irvine product, Griffin Mazer, will get an at-bat. Casey Slattery today went 1 for 3 with a sac fly in 4 prior appearances, but Mazer will get the last at bat. Pitcher misses outside, ball 1. Mazer hitting .254 with 2 homers and 10 RBIs here this season. The pitch outside, 2 balls and no strikes. So we have 3 strikeouts in the inning. The Galleon Graders pitching staff does, but not a resolution to this half inning just yet. 2-0. Check swing. Mazer went too far. 2-1. Lessons learned for these kids as they will take their experiences with them. 2-1. Popped out of play. That's heading right towards our press box. It's going to crash off of the stands right on the other side of us. Don't know if you can hear that loud thud. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Griffin Mazer. And one of those players who talked about, being able to experience this league is Griffin. He'll pop another one up. This should stay in the field of play. Going over into foul ground, making the catch is Matthew Dietering, and that's it. That's all for the Monarchs in 2018. As the Galleon Graders win it today to close out their season on a high note, snapping their 5-game losing streak and at least winning one against the Lake Erie Monarchs in 2018. Final score 13-4. Monarchs fall to 17-23-1. That will be their final mark in 2018. The Galleon Graders improved to 19-22 and will finish a couple games shy of making the playoffs in the South Division. The winner in this game will be Preston Stanley, whose record is 1-0. Lane Schnitz Paxton falls to 4-3 with the loss here today. In the top of the ninth, the Monarchs had no runs, no hits, no errors on the Graders, and they left one on base. For the totals now, we'll take a look at those. Galleon scores 13 runs on 15 hits. They commit an error in the game and leave 9 men on base, while the Lake Erie Monarchs score 4 runs on 8 hits, no errors, and they left, hold for a moment, 13 on base here today. And 8 of those came in the middle of the ball game. The middle innings, 4th through the 6th innings, the Monarchs left the bases loaded in the 4th and the 5th, left 2 on in the 6th, and that was really it. You can even include the 7th where they left 2 more on base, and the Monarchs just could not pull through here today as they fall in the regular season finale and the finale in 2018 for the Monarchs by a final count of 13-4. Well, fans, we really appreciate you tuning in all year long. It's been a pleasure to be behind the mic for you and even getting to do road games for you in 2018. Been a lot of fun along the way. Maybe not as many wins as the Monarchs would have liked, but Jim DeSena will bring another group to this Flat Rock Field in 2019 and be hoping for more success and maybe even another playoff visit, as the group will meet one final time out in short right field to chat about their experiences and move forward with life. But it really was a fun year to bring it all to you, and appreciate you tuning in all year long. One final time from Heisey Park in Galleon, the Graders beat the Monarchs in the season finale by a final count of 13-4. I am Kevin Peel saying good night from Central Ohio. You have been listening to Lake Erie Monarchs Baseball tonight and all year long on the Lake Erie Monarchs Radio Network over monarchsradio.com. Have a good one, everyone. God bless.